Hey guys, what's up? We're here with Style TV and we're talking to Drake at Village RV, who is one of the first in Central Florida to get a CyberTruck. So Drake, tell us what it was like.
So back in December, I woke up on a Friday morning, or actually it was at night. I was going to bed on a Friday night and I got the email saying that I got selected to order the Foundation Series. So I immediately went as quick as I possibly could to get on that website, 100%. And they asked me for, it was at the time, it was like a $250 deposit. And then I put another $250 deposit for the extended battery pack. Okay. And I filled that out and the waiting game started. And then from there it was, they started having events where you could go and see the truck. Okay. I remember the first time I got to see it was in Miami. I just got off a little weekend cruise. I was like, I found out they had it there. I went straight there, and like as we're walking up, you could see it 1,000 feet away. I'm like, there it is, you know. I'm like so crazy. Like that.
It's real. It's actually a real truck.
Because you see it in online, and this has been an experience I've found having this is the reaction of people online versus the reaction of someone seeing it in person is two totally different things.
No, you don't really understand until you see it in person. A picture or a video does not do it justice. No way. Or even like it doesn't feel real when you see it honestly in person.
I actually, one of my favorite things I got because of how I ended up getting it. I flew to California back in January. Okay. I picked it up January 21st or 22nd. Wow. So I was in that real first early group. But so I flew out there. A gentleman that I actually worked for about 3 or 4 years was the most anti-Tesla person I've ever met. Like I'm telling you, like he told me if I ever bought a Tesla, I would no longer work for him. That's how adamant he was about it. The first person I took that truck to his name was Justin. Right? I beeline straight to him. I said, "You're driving." It was not only the first time he'd never even been in a Tesla. Okay. So the first experience he ever had in a Tesla was a Cybertruck. Well, he's no longer a hater.
I was going to say, yeah. See, I've never even sat in one yet, so that's hopefully something we'll get to do and everything. But yeah, it's even the exterior. You know, if the haters online that oh, it's an ugly truck. It's like go see it in person and then 100%. Make up your mind. Don't look at a picture or a video. So, what kind of model did you end up with? Like what?
So this is the Foundation Series dual motor. Okay. So the first deliveries they started with were the Foundation Series dual motor. So I got that. I've actually found it to be plenty of power. I come from a Plaid, so I was in my head thinking, I know power. I'm used to fast, right? So I'm thinking I got to get the tri-motor. Right. But I wanted it faster, so I went with the dual motor, and I'm honestly happy I did. I don't need to race a truck. 3.8 to 0 to 60 is plenty fast, you know.
That's faster than my Camaro.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've thoroughly enjoyed it. The amount of power this thing has for a truck, hauling, towing. We can get way into detail with that stuff. I've had the opportunity to do a lot of interesting, fun things out of the ordinary stuff with it. Okay. From driving from California across the country to here. That's a decent drive. To towing boats, jet skis, trailers, tractors, RVs. Okay. I've towed
here with RVs, so
I've gotten a lot of opportunity to do some things. I took it out to a place called Hog Waller out in Palatka. I took it deep in the mud. I have some footage I'll share with you guys of that. Yeah, I've done some really cool, like we got it deep in the mud. Last Friday I took it rock crawling. Okay. So I had that wheel about 4 or 5 feet in the air. And it's just been incredible, the performance. I mean, not only as cool as it is and as entertaining as it is to live this experience, this is different than anything. I've had some cool, I got the Plaid X, and that's a cool car, right? I love that car. That was my #1 car in the world. You couldn't have given me a Rolls Royce. I would have been. I want my Plaid X. That was like the best car in the world. I still have it, and I barely drive it. Right. I mean, I can't go back to it. I will say, you get in that thing and you punch it, and it's like, whew, that thing's fast. But
everybody else is at the light. And
you're like,
gone.
Bye-bye. But there's nothing like that turning of the Cybertruck. And
I can't wait to see that. I was watching you pull it in here, and we're in the car, and I'm like, there's the dual wheel tires. That's so cool.
Yeah. And once you do that a couple times, it really people ask me this all the time. How is it to drive? Is it weird getting used to that? And most of the things, is it weird getting used to? Absolutely not. It takes, after a couple minutes, everything else is hard to get back used to. Right. Driving now, if I go back to driving even my Model X or any other vehicle, turning, I feel so clumsy. I feel like Fred Flintstone. What's going on here? What am I supposed to do with my hands like Ricky Bobby? So, with this, it's just one little, it's just so smooth. It makes it, like I said, it makes you wonder why wasn't it always like this?
Right. Why didn't we do this in other cars? All right. So go ahead and walk us around, show us some of the details, like what this has to offer and the different ins and outs.
For sure. So I mean, we got to start with the body. This is an exoskeleton. So trucks have all been built the same forever, right? Yeah. Elon's idea was let's build something totally different. So tell me a truck that you can.
Okay, that like just right there, I'm gonna say that made me nervous.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day,
if you do that to my Prius or any other car,
you're gonna be really upset at me.
Yeah.
This is a tough truck. He built this to have real world. It's cool to be able to hit it. Imagine someone comes with a shopping cart and pushes it right into your car, or someone opens their door into your car. Obviously, this is wrapped, so it might put a scratch in the wrap, but it ain't gonna do no damage in the truck, right? So that's one of the things when they released this, they finally showed off the crash test videos. One of the major tests they do with all vehicles is a side impact test, where they put a trailer that weighs about 35, maybe give or take a couple hundred pounds, about 3,500 pounds, and it's going about 40 miles an hour into the side impact of the truck. Most vehicles, like in the 90 percentile of vehicles, are totaled after that test. That video is public, so I'm sure you'll be able to find it. In that test with the CyberTruck, all it had to do was replace both doors. Everything else was fine.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a video where a guy on YouTube opened the door up. It hurt me somewhere inside. But he's like, I'm the first guy to shoot the CyberTruck with a 50 caliber bullet. Yes, and I'm sitting there going, don't do it, don't do it, man. And luckily, I mean, he opens the door and he's just got to replace the door. But I'm going, come on. But I mean, still, like 9mm rounds and stuff, we're just dinging this. It was barely even penetrating.
We can't forget the
giant,
the Giga Wiper. So when I first saw this, I was a little worried. I was thinking, I don't know. I mean, I drive a lot, so like I need something that's going to actually function. I mean, I'm at a little over 10,000 miles on this. I drive. Yeah. I didn't buy it to look at it. I'm blown away at the functionality. Really? So something else technical is this is the first ever. There's low voltage systems and high voltage system. Right. Low voltage system, every car in the world has a low voltage, typical 12 volt system that powers your cigarette lighter and all your accessories. This does not have any 12 volt system in it. So this is a low voltage 48 volt system. Tesla's the first ever, the CyberTruck is the first ever vehicle production wise to have a low voltage 48 volt system. Elon actually sent a whole pamphlet or a whole booklet of how to produce a 48 volt vehicle to every manufacturer, because they've all been trying to, but they couldn't. When you have so many of these suppliers and different companies that have to work together with things, it makes it real hard. Tesla takes in raw materials and produces everything themselves, so they were able to pull it off. One of the many things that allows is this Giga Wiper. This uses 2 horsepower. You could one of the engineers named Lars, he made a comment. It's true. Most manufacturers would consider this an engineering marvel. This would be their the big thing.
Just this wiper alone,
just this wiper. And this is one of the many things, But when you put this on full power, it's just
everybody next to you is like, turn it off.
But what's also is amazing is how smart it is. So at certain speeds, it knows if you're at a speed where you don't want to be flinging water on someone next to you, so it'll purposely throw the water down and hold it down. It's really amazing. I mean, this is literally, in my opinion, the iPhone of vehicles. The way it thinks is so intuitive. To the things like, when even being this is so brand new, you would think that maybe they didn't have time to think about all those little things they can later add, as we all know, with a software update.
Yeah, software update, or maybe the next generation.
From day one, it did this. I mean, it was just amazing how the level of detail they went into, especially the software, which is something that benefits also.
So, do you know how much one of these wipers costs out of
$70 and change? I don't think it's under 100. It's definitely under $100.
I think $50 a piece for like one of my Prius wipers, right?
Let's see, what next should I tell you? Oh, obviously the windshield. This is the largest windshield in the industry.
It's massive.
$2,100 what this windshield costs. I know that because a buddy of mine already broke his, and that's just how it goes. You have the largest and brightest light bar possibly available that Tesla used to put here. Common misconception is that this is your headlights. This is not your headlights. Your actual headlights are right down here. This is actually one of the few places, if you look right here, they'll say Tesla.
Oh, look
so
at that. Yep.
a big thing is that there's not a Tesla logo on this. There is, but they're hidden. They're in the different parts, right? Let's talk about these tires. So these tires are 35-inch tires. They're all terrain. It's mind-blowing how good this thing rides for being on 35s.
That's what was a question, like a tire that massive, and they're massive. That's the thing that hits you when you first see the truck is, oh my goodness, that's a ridiculously big tire, right? And you would think that that's going to ride really rough, kind of like a Jeep or something like that with all-terrain tires.
That's what I was thinking, but at the same time, it's Tesla, and they actually got involved with Michelin and designed this tire. Okay. That's another one of those things where another manufacturer may have called this their marvel of engineering, right? They designed this tire specifically for the truck, and they did an incredible job because this is the best riding vehicle I've ever ridden in. And
even with having the X.
The X doesn't ride. It's crazy now. Going back to the X, I'm like, ugh. I mean, compared, and I shouldn't say I shouldn't. That's a great vehicle. Right. But once you get used to the comfort of this, the air suspension matched with these tires and just the entire drivetrain, it's incredible. The structural rigidity. So that's a big difference going from any other Tesla to this. Anybody who knows Tesla knows that one of their few faults is their fit and finish. There's creaks and rattles in Teslas. After you put 20 or 30,000 miles on a Tesla, you're gonna hear something. Now it's gonna drive like a brand new Tesla. That's one of my favorite things about Teslas is you could drive a 100,000 mile Tesla and it's gonna drive just like a brand new Tesla. Whereas you drive a 100,000 mile ICE vehicle, you're gonna be able to tell.
And go get in a Corolla at 100,000 miles.
You're gonna know that thing has 100K.
Right.
You will not know that with a Tesla outside of the noises you're gonna hear with things just getting loose because there's a lot of plastics in it.
Yeah.
This has the best, quietest ride of any by far because of the structural rigidity of this vehicle is stronger than a Porsche 911. So because this is a unibody design, so the actual frame is basically starts here and it's all one piece that's stamped. And then most vehicles that are produced, part of that frame is the floorboard. The floorboard of this truck is the battery pack. So if you drive, part of building it and part of how they got it to where they're at now is that building process, doing a whole new process. They literally have the battery pack and build the whole interior on the battery pack and just drop the frame right on it. Okay. But doing that allows you to have less parts. For example, in a Model 3 or Model Y, I believe now they're down to 2. So you have a front and then a rear, and they bring those together. This is one piece. Okay. The entire casting is one big massive. It's the largest casting machine in the world. And that is what makes
something
it
to
so
see.
solid.
I mean, yeah. I would love to go see that.
Yeah, it's in Austin. At first I was scared because I don't want to break my brand new Cybertruck, but I started pushing it more and more and more and more. And now I'm like, I don't think I can break this thing.
Well, what can I do with
it? It's been incredible. I'm not gonna lie, I got stuck in the mud a couple times, but we were all going through stuff, and I was making it through everything that everybody else was. So then I said, well, send me the stuff. I want to go through stuff that nobody makes it through. Yeah. And that's where I started getting stuck. But, for this to be able to then hop right back on the road, I've never had a gas or diesel or any ICE vehicle that I've taken off-roading that hopped on the road and felt just as good as it felt before I took it off-road.
You mess something up.
You're messing something up. Yeah. There's just gunk that gets in stuff. Yep. You always hear rattle. This thing hopped back on the road like a bullet. I mean, it's just amazing. Yeah, that's something cool.
So I guess let's go ahead and go to the back.
We can go towards the back. So start with the tailgate. One of my favorite things is it's a truck. I'm a Tesla guy. This is my fourth Tesla I started with the Y. I started with the 3. I had the Y, and then I went to the Model X Plaid, and then to the Cybertruck. But I've always been in a active lifestyle, Central Florida.
Outdoor stuff.
Yeah, I'm an outdoors person. I've been camping my whole life. Okay. I've been in the RV business since I was 16. I do things, and I'm an active person. So when I saw them announce this, I was like, that's for me. I need a truck. I want a truck. So I just love that this has just a typical tailgate. That's just something I like the feeling of opening and closing a tailgate. There's something that's just...
It's satisfying.
It's satisfying, exactly. Then we go to this tonneau cover. I have never been a fan of tonneau covers going up.
Like old school trucks, right?
I don't like
them.
Folding them. I don't like dealing with the real end, and they always mess up. And then Rivian, when they were the first to do a tonneau cover, and when they did it, it didn't do well. So I think Tesla said, we're going to over-engineer this, and we're going to kind of outdo everybody. And they built something that's strong. What tonneau cover can you get on and jump up and down?
Which one would you want to and not?
Yeah. So when Tesla did this, they did it to be tough. They're not here to build something for looks. I put this through every weather you can imagine. I've had it in snow. I've had it covered in sand, covered in dirt, covered in mud, and without fail, when I hit this button, that tonneau cover opens.
That is awesome. See, that's my first time seeing that, like, because I saw the truck over at Claremont when they had it, and they wouldn't do this, right? And I'm going, just do it. Come on, just for everyone here.
Something that's really cool is this power system. So this is the first ever Tesla to have an inverter to actually be able to share power. So you can run basically, you know, I don't want to say anything, but mostly anything really. I have electric bikes I charge back here. I've had power tools that we've had to do repairs out here that I've run off of here. It also has a 50 amp outlet. We use that a lot for RVs. I had this at an RV show where we were able to run an RV for the whole show, and it took about 15%, 18% battery a day. Not bad at all. I ran both ACs full time, and I had it pumping, and just to see what it could do. It was like, I had only had it, you know, maybe a month when I did that, so I wanted to really kind of just see what it would do. And I love it because when I go camping, I hate running a loud generator. I don't like it
those
at
gas
all.
generators that everybody, you can't go to sleep with them.
All night. I don't want to hear that. This right here is silent. You can run it, and then all you gotta do is run down to a supercharger, fill back up, and come back. Then take that a step further. I also included in the Foundation series is the equipment to share power from the truck to your home.
Okay.
So this actually can act as a generator for the house.
So we live in Florida. Your power goes out for, like, say, a hurricane.
Yep.
You can do it. That's awesome.
So they say up to 3 days of power you'll be able to get off of this battery. So in a tough time when you need power, you know, this has been great for me. I've used this so much, and I didn't realize at first how much, and now I'm not even looking. I'm more having opportunities to present. So I'm like, oh, I got power.
I could do that.
Yeah. And so that's actually been one of my most useful new features of having the CyberTruck. On top of the bed's by far the most useful thing. So one last thing in the bed is, you know, it also has storage. I use it for my tailgate or my ramps.
Oh, wow.
So and this is another thing, like I was talking about, the attention to detail. These ramps are just so well made.
So these are actually Teslas.
Yeah, Tesla made these. Yeah, I flipped them the wrong side up. So this actually opens up right here, and these are, if I'm gonna get it. Oh, here we go.
You got multiple locks.
So yeah, it has multiple locks, but it opens up. And it locks itself in just like that, and then you're able to put this here for either dirt bikes. I have 2 of them, so I use it for my golf cart.
Okay.
But it's been fantastic, and it's so solid. I mean, this thing held my golf cart no problem. And just to be so light and so compact, to be able to fit right in the bed of that, it's been fantastic.
Be able to keep those with you wherever you go. Those are nice.
But you know, the technology to really show itself off on the inside.
Let's go check it out.
Let's check it out. So the first thing that should stand out to is no door handles, right?
Yeah, there's how do you open this, right?
It's great, you know, for someone who doesn't know, if you're in it and someone's trying to get in your vehicle, the last thing you're going to think of is pushing on that. So give that button a push right there, and then just grab on the door and open it up. What's cool about that is that there's an actuator right here.
Okay.
And this actuator can actually punch through 1.5 inches of ice. So if you ever have, if you're in a cold climate, if ice freezes over on your vehicle, it will thrust through that.
Wow. Okay. So they really did think of everything, literally. I mean, that's the thing that everybody complains about with other Teslas is I can't get in my car, you know, and this fixes it.
And you can if the button's iced over, just use your phone. You can use your app,
and it will open.
Super
Sweet.
Cool. So you hop in the driver's seat.
All right. Awesome.
We can start with UI. Let's start with the UI.
Okay, yeah.
So
walk me through this, the entertainment center system, basically.
So, what was surprising to me is as different as this looked when I first got in it from the standard Tesla, as far as the UI, it's all the same. It's very, very similar. They actually just announced that the way this looks, this update is going to every Tesla.
Really?
So every Tesla now is going to have this.
Oh, wow.
If you don't come from a Tesla is the iPhone of vehicles.
It is. It really is.
Their UI is unmatched. You can control it, just like the tonneau cover. You can control from right there. You can see in the back when it actually is open. You can see behind. Do you notice something that's missing?
There's no rearview mirror.
So there was one. I took it off.
Oh, okay.
There's just no. I mean, unless you're gonna ride with the tonneau cover open, and even when you do, it's small. But that's why you have this, and you'll see when we drive. You can actually you'll ride with your slide it up, drive.
Okay.
There you go. So that's how I ride.
Your rearview mirror is your screen, basically.
Yep, exactly. So another cool thing about the Foundation series specifically is it comes with two things. It comes with lifetime premium connectivity. So that's only $10 a month, but it adds up.
That adds up, yeah.
So you get that totally lifetime included, and also it came with full self-driving.
Oh, nice.
Now that's something that's pretty what's the word? Controversial right now. So for the first time in history, Tesla lowered the price of full self-driving.
Really?
Actually, it's not the first time. I take that back. It's the second time.
Second time?
They were up to at one point $15,000 for full self-driving.
I've built a couple Teslas and noticed. I'm like, man, I just can't see that.
I know. Now where it's at right now, it's amazing. And we're now to the point where you can see the end game of once it's just a little bit better.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! And at that point, when it can literally get in and take you to a parking space, from parking space to parking space, it might be worth the money. But as of right now, it's not there yet. So they went from 15,000 to 12,000. Yesterday they lowered it to 8,000.
Wow.
So, but it did come included in because you do pay a premium to get the Foundation series. So
what was the premium?
Yeah, that's something else we haven't talked about yet. Well, when this comes out, if you were to order one today, you would expect that this would be an MSRP of about 80,000, 79,900 I believe is what it is. The Foundation series is a $20,000 premium. So instead of going and paying scalpers, they're saying we're going to give you some extra stuff. We're going to include full self-driving. We're going to include lifetime premium connectivity. We're going to include some accessories like the rubber floor mats, all-weather floor mats.
Nice.
Yeah, very nice. Something I've never got in a Tesla from brand new. I always had to buy that stuff. It came with a lot of the accessories in the bed, not the mat, but it came with different mounting points and a few little things. And at the end of the day, it also got me early access. That's the biggest thing.
That's worth it in and of itself.
Exactly. And it got me early access to a product that you can just see the time they spent to get this right.
Yeah.
Little menus like this. Like through driving it, I started to find little things that I'd never seen before. Just having this ride height, which leads us into the suspension. It's a great time to show you the suspension. So you have just in your main controls, you can go from entry to high.
Okay.
At entry, we're sitting right at about 8 inches. If we go to high, it is raising us, but it's not raising us as fast as it like.
So normally it would jump up.
Normally it's super fast.
Okay.
And we may be tricking it by turning the vehicle off. I think the vehicle's when the vehicle's on, did you hear the compressor start up?
Yeah, I can hear like the hum in the background.
That sits right under the bed.
Okay.
So the thing about that compressor is it's just enough. This is a big air suspension system.
It's a big truck.
This has almost 8 inches of total play up and down.
Okay.
So you're pumping a lot of air through. So they had to find a creative place to put that. They were able to put it right under the bed. So it's continuing to raise. It not only shows us our ground clearance, but our total height.
Okay.
So we started out at 5'8". Now we're at 5'11".
Well, I mean, 8 inches up to almost 11 now.
Why don't you just throw your seatbelt on?
Okay.
And let's switch you to Sailor. That's more of
a just general driving.
Yeah, that's more space for. He's a taller guy. So now it's perfect. So let's do this now.
Oh wow! Okay, yeah, I see that. Just like
you see how that quick was.
How quick that.
So now it's gonna load up here. So back to some of the UI things. This is similar. If you have pretty much every Tesla now does it. That's how you can control your air conditioning. The cameras on this are just super crisp.
It's like HDR on that. Yeah. That is insane.
First Tesla with a windshield washer or a camera washer. That's for your front camera.
Wow.
I've been really surprised at how much that's come in handy, that front camera.
Well, if you're mudding.
Not even mudding, just regular driving. Pulling into a parking space. This is a different form factor than I've ever driven. I'm not used to having such a short front end because at the end of your windshield,
it looks like it's an infinite windshield. Because you're like it's all the way up there.
Exactly, but it's only that much, that much more. Wow. So sometimes I'll trick myself and I have my butt end sticking out 3 feet because I didn't get too far enough up. So that helps out a lot. Also with off-roading for sure, tremendously helps with that. So big one is this off-road mode. So what's cool, when you go into off-road mode, not only does it allow you, so when you're driving, let's go back to this. When you're driving in standard drive modes, the highest air suspension ride setting is medium. If you go high, as soon as you get to 25 miles an hour, it's going to drop back down to medium. Unless you put it into off-road mode. So right now we're sitting in medium height. If I go and change it to off-road, now it's going to raise us up, and now it's going to show us the ride height of every single wheel.
Okay.
And it's going to give us access to more information and more controls. For one, it's what type of terrain are you on. So are you overlanding or are you doing Baja?
Wow.
On overland, are you using all-purpose, sand, gravel, rock? In my experience, I've driven some vehicles that had similar settings, like some of the newer Fords and Jeeps and have different settings like this. I've never driven one that I noticed the difference in each one as much as I do with this. So, example, I've done nothing but stay in overland. And the reason why is in overland, some of the basic features that are on-road features still work.
Okay.
Like auto off turn signals.
Okay.
If you go in Baja mode, those don't
work anymore.
I'm sure there's a reason why they don't, but because they only don't work in Baja. In overland they work fine. Another thing in Baja, you can't do hold, like your hold. So if you come up to a stoplight and you're on an incline, it'll start rolling you back on Baja.
Okay.
Because that's meant for sand, right?
Right, and you want to roll back down. You don't want to be stuck up on the top of the sand dune.
Exactly, yeah. Putting it in Baja mode, you're able to control your handling balance.
Oh, wow.
So you can throw basically all of your power to your rear wheels.
Okay.
Which turns this into a drifting machine.
That'd be fun.
I have some videos we can show that do just doing donuts.
That's
this thing
awesome.
just ripping around. Once you get into off-road mode, you unlock 2 more height levels. You unlock very high, which is this. So we're right now we're sitting at 12.5. That's going to raise us to about 13.5 inches of ground clearance.
Wow.
And then from there you can go to extract. And very high, once you're in off-road mode and very high, you're able to drive up to 25 miles an hour on very high.
Okay.
Once you go over 25 miles an hour, it defaults back to high. You can get extract as if for the situation where you need to get out.
Right.
So
you're stuck or something like that.
Exactly. Or you're not sure you're going to be able to clear it, or you're going through water.
Okay.
Whatever scenario that you just need that extra clearance, going over some rocks. So now we're sitting at 13.5. This will raise you to the maximum ride height, which on the screen is going to say about 16 inches. It's actually 17 inches because that includes a little bumper that I took off. So that got us a full 17 inches.
Wow, that's awesome.
So it's bringing us up there right now, and you'll notice you'll definitely notice getting in and out of the vehicle at the height.
You're a lot higher up.
It's like you have to kind of jump out. Yeah.
So we're in Florida. Everybody jacks up their trucks. You don't have to jack up your truck; it just comes that way. You can just be like, "Hey,
when I pull up to a big lifted truck, I go, let me rise to the occasion."
That's awesome.
So you'll see it lowers pretty fast. So you can watch it right here.
Yeah, I know that's falling pretty quickly.
It's just gonna drop.
Oh, that is, yeah. You can you can feel it.
It's like a little elevator.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. Is it feels kind of like an elevator.
So one more thing to talk about the inside before we go. You see these running lights. They go all the way down the sides on both sides. What's really cool is you have full control of the colors. So just little things like that.
So basically it's RGB.
RGB, exactly.
Oh,
so you
that's,
can change
that's
whatever
cool.
you like. And what I just noticed, for some reason I didn't notice this before, but when you change between driver profiles, the color sticks with the driver profile.
Okay.
Typical Tesla, of course.
Right. Everybody has their own settings and everything.
So for someone who's not a Tesla person, doesn't understand how Teslas work, if you notice, you're missing some of the major components of driving. There's
a shifter.
Yeah, no gear stock, no turn signal. So first off, when you get in the vehicle and you put your seatbelt on, the vehicle is going to judge with the cameras based on whether when your initial shift is going to be into drive or reverse.
Okay.
So it right now senses that you're ready to go into drive. So to shift into it, all you got to do is literally tap the brakes. So you can go ahead and tap the brake. Okay. Now you're in drive. Now, if you decide that you want to go into reverse, with your foot on the brake, you just got to slide. And it's just a literal back and forth slide. There's a new feature coming out they announced where it's going to actually auto shift for you everywhere. They've been testing that out. It actually got leaked. Someone went into a Tesla facility and snuck into the new Model 3 Performance that's coming out, or the Ludicrous is what they're going to call it, and they found that auto shift feature. Now they finally announced it. But that is going to be a really cool thing. It's cool to see a vehicle that you buy on day one and it ends up being better the day you sell it than the day you bought
like you said, it's like an iPhone, and you get an iPhone, and next year they release that new OS, and you get most of those new features because it's updated.
And that's exactly what I'm trying to say. Then you go to your turning signals. Now that I'm used to the way these are, it's so weird to go back to flinging the little stick. So they're all on a button. It's on your steering wheel. Left, there you go, just like that. Wow. You got it. So it's an actual tactile button.
Yeah, there's a click to it. There's
actual
a physical click.
So you can rest your finger on it, but not click it. Right. Your horn is a traditional center horn. They've come back to that. The last couple vehicles were not. And then your windshield wipers here if you ever needed it, and your brights are here. Okay. So anyway, you are in reverse right now.
Oh, reverse, yeah.
Flipped it, so now just slide it forward. Whenever you're ready, pull up here and pull out to the left. Let's take it for a drive.
Let's do it.
So you're going to notice at low speeds, the steering is going to turn sharp. So you're at full turn right now.
That is weird.
Oh, they locked us in here.
They don't even know that we're...
They didn't even know we were doing this. I'll open it up for us.
Well, hey.
I love it.
I wanted to see if we could get the camera of people back there.
He ain't scared. Let's go. I love it.
Get up to 55. Wow. That ride's really nice.
Now here's the mind-blowing part. As you feel the steering wheel, you feel everything on the road, right?
Yeah.
It's like a regular steering wheel.
Yeah, you
can feel every detail. If you hit a rock, you'd feel it, right? That's all fake.
Really?
So there is no physical connection from this steering wheel.
Oh, right, because it's drive-by-wire. So you're not feeling.
So they literally have almost like the same, I forget the term they use, the vibrating motor inside your iPhone is basically the same thing they're using.
The haptic feedback.
The haptic feedback.
Right.
They're using a similar thing to haptic feedback to make you feel, but it just blows my mind how realistic it is.
Yeah, I was going to say, after you said it and we're sitting here talking, and then I'm going like, no, that's not real, because I feel no, that's the road. I'm used to feeling that in my car, and that's what it feels like.
Exactly.
So that is awesome. So how do you get, I know you can do like autopilot and stuff, because usually you have a shifter to do that.
Yeah, so at this current date, and by the time you release this video, this may even be different, but they have not added autopilot as of this moment. So you have traffic aware cruise control, which you can shift into it by just clicking in the button on the rear.
Right here?
Yep. So you still have to drive, but it will hold your speed, and it will also hold your
distance.
Yeah, hold your distance between vehicles. And if you drift out of the lane, it'll save you. It'll tell you to get back in your lane. It might not save you, but it will definitely tell you to get back in your lane.
Look, idiot, get back in it.
Exactly. So that's those are the safety features that are what make Tesla a Tesla. You know, if you watch any of the safety videos, the only vehicle that's actually saving people is Tesla.
It is.
They do there's a big test they do where a little bicycle or someone will walk out behind something as the vehicle drives into it, and they use like an inflatable toy. The only vehicle that didn't hit him was a Tesla. So
I know we talked about the rearview mirror, but it's really cool to be driving down the road, and you don't have it up here, but
for sure
it's there. And
it takes getting you. That was probably, of all the different changes, this was probably the most, I don't want to say hardest, but the most trickiest to get used to, because I'm so programmed to look. I will say I like being able to look in that rearview mirror to see myself. That's the one thing where it makes it like the one use for it that I don't have it now, so I do notice that. But overall, this is wonderful. I can see so much more in this than I can ever see in my rearview mirror.
Yeah, no, you see a lot, especially for a truck too, because usually you're going to see like over the bed or whatever it is, and I can see a lot, like that car coming up next to me. So that is awesome.
This just goes back to UI things. You know, we have the full self-driving display showing now, but you can easily flip back to where you see your map on your screen. We're currently in medium ride height. So I'm so sorry, actually we're currently in low ride height at 8.4 inches. I could raise it to about 9.5 inches at medium.
I mean, this feels great though. The ride, the drive. You know, we've talked about how it rides and everything, and it does. It feels smooth. I don't, except for noticing
so it's raising us up right now. Up to that medium height, so you see if you feel any difference at all. And then after, when we come to our next stop, I'm going to raise it up to high for you to feel that. See if you can notice a difference.
Yeah, one thing that I have to get used to, and probably you did too, is looking out over the windshield.
You can fit a pizza.
That's my new place. Have you ever? So Lazy Moon Pizza in Orlando has the biggest pizza I've ever seen.
Really? I want to go there.
Okay, yeah, look it up. It's awesome, downtown Orlando. But literally, it would probably be maybe one side of this pizza side. And you could still fit another Lazy Moon pizza. They're stupidly big.
I put my Starlink up there. I put pizzas up there. I put a lot of paperwork. It's a ton of space. It's actually usable. Like, the Starlink can see right through the glass.
Really?
No problem.
Okay.
I actually am waiting. I have a Starlink coming that's going to be mounted right on the back middle of this glass. So it'll be a solid, all the time Starlink. And because this has power share, you have 120 outlets right down here and inside here. So
you've
I have
got
power everywhere. Right?
That's awesome.
So right now we are in Baja mode.
Okay.
So you actually just had all the power to the rear tires.
Really? Okay.
Now you're riding with all the power, just normal.
I love that you can switch it while you're driving.
Yep.
You have to stop. And
you can switch some things. The only thing you can't go from Baja to Overland until you come to a stop.
Okay, full stop.
But you can go in here and choose your deceleration, so it's how fast it's going to slow you down when you let off of the gas. I have that on high now.
That is sweet.
You can go once you have to go to a stop to this, but Wade mode is actually a really cool setting. So this vehicle can go through at least 3.5 feet of water. And when you're going to go in that kind of water, you can put it in Wade mode, which actually pressurizes the low voltage 48 volt battery.
Okay.
And basically stops water from getting into it.
Which you want that.
100%. Just little things they did to just give you a little bit more redundancy, make sure you're not going to have any issues.
Right. Okay, I'm used to. Oh my goodness!
It turns
the turn radius on this thing.
Well, at first it's intimidating a little bit.
Yeah.
Right over there we could go.
Okay.
Yeah, pull through here.
Pull through here.
Yeah.
Sorry, on the back there.
There you go. Yeah, pull right over here.
Yeah. So I entered that turn expecting a truck because I've driven trucks before, and so I'm like, okay, I need to take this wider. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I don't have to take this as wide as I thought.
And with the rear wheels turning, it kind of brings your rear end. It brings it right in because it turns it out. So you're never going to hit you can definitely hit a curve, but it's going to be a little bit harder as long as once you get the hang of it.
Wow.
Okay. Feel that?
Yes, I feel that. Yeah, let me let her. I was getting out of the way of this for the sun.
So no turning your hand around.
No, I mean I would have been 2 or 3 times, and I'm fully locked, and just that is so nice.
Isn't that interesting? Oh, they got in our way again.
That is so nice. Let's see. Let's pull back into this spot here, and I mean that just a truck should not be able to turn like this.
Right?
A truck should not be able to turn like this.
And it does. They said a lot of things the Cybertruck wasn't going to. They said the Cybertruck wasn't going to get built. It wasn't going to pass safety. They weren't going to allow it because of how aggressive this front end is. There's so many things they said would never happen. And we're sitting in it.
Yeah. All right, so where do we want to go from here? Do we want to head back?
I mean, we can start heading back. I want to get you I knew this would be an area where parking.
Yeah, no, this is definitely. Okay, that's amazing. I just want to say, like, I hit that and I'm ready to go. I'm in drive. I didn't even have to swipe up. And one thing I did want to mention real quick, I'll put this in the park, is that not only can we shift here, we also have a backup shifter up there.
So you can see it right here.
There we go. So all I would do is like a normal Tesla. I believe this is in the S's and the X series.
Yeah, this is meant as a backup, right? This is there's not really any scenario where this would be your main go-to. You could. I mean, there's no reason you couldn't. But once you do this a couple times...
Yeah, I was going to say, the brake pedal is so much better, but if you want to, I mean, I can... Oh, I got to put the brake on, but I could shift into reverse, whatever it is, neutral. So... that is just really cool and a cool feature, a second way to do it.
It's all about redundancy in these things. Their goal is not to get you a vehicle that's going to be thrown into a shop and stuck there.
Right.
And that's another thing we go into is owning one of these. I actually brought it into service once already. It was a 1 day. I mean, the amount of time they send this stuff through.
It's a quick turnaround.
When you first get it in there, I did have a fuse go out that took them a little bit longer than that to get that part, but on basic typical stuff you bring your vehicle in, the customer service level, the first issue I had here, they stayed until like 10 p.m. I drove to get it. I got off work. I told them I'm coming. I get a text 30 minutes before I get there. Hey, we just finished detailing your vehicle. It's plugged in on the supercharger, ready to go. I don't remember getting that kind of level of service from anybody. Tesla, they have people who care. You can tell that the people who work at Tesla, and this is, of course, there's always going to be that one bad apple of any company.
Right.
But in my general experience, I've been able to meet people who are as enthusiastic, if not more than me. And I'm pretty enthusiastic about Tesla. I'm a big Tesla advocate. And it's just fun to see people who are genuinely happy about what they do and into what they do.
Yeah.
And that's the general consensus of when you're at Tesla.
So all right, let's go ahead.
You're now because you took it out.
All right, I got you.
No, now next time I won't do that.
That's awesome. Yeah, it is the Batmobile.
Mm-hmm.
I also love the wrap that you got, and we haven't really talked about it, but you did get it in the matte black wrap, and that was
why.
Okay, yeah.
So
let's go why.
specific reason why. So, in over the Christmas holiday last year, I had nothing going on, and I knew that they were showing off France, which is the guy who basically did all the design for Tesla. He's the one who threw the metal ball. That's France. I mean, he's the guy
infamous metal ball.
Exactly. And I've always thought he's a pretty cool guy. Well, he put his personal Cybertruck, which is VIN number 1 or 2, on display at the Peterson Automotive Museum.
Oh.
So I knew that I could go see that, and they had the Alpha build with the original Cybertruck. They had the Cyber ATV. They had the original Model S, the prototype. They had the Model. I mean, they had a whole Model Y disassembled in the air, where you could see the entire thing. It was really cool. But most importantly, they had his truck, and his truck was wrapped the exact same way, matte black, this was. And when I saw that truck in person, I just said, "There's no way I could wrap it any other way.
Yeah,
I have to go matte black."
When and if I get mine anytime in the next couple of years, I'm going matte black. You got to go matte black.
It's a Batmobile, and that's where there's been a couple things where like, is that a tank? Are you in the military? Is this a Batmobile? You know, there's a few things that a lot of people say.
You'd be like, well, I mean, it is a tank. It's bulletproof up to 9mm. So
I'm surprised how many people ask me, did I build this myself? And I say I would love to take credit, but I can't steal it from Elon. So I always make sure to tell him that.
Yeah, no, that was his.
Just with no, we have the AC on, but think about the level of sound inside this vehicle.
Yeah, it's very quiet. It's a very quiet, very comfortable. I mean, it's almost. So I have a Camaro 2SS, and it has the bucketed seats, and this has that same feel. It holds you in the seat, and it's really nice, and at least. Probably actually more comfortable than my Camaro seats, which those at this point were my most comfortable that I've ridden in.
Yeah, Camaro seats are super comfortable.
They really are.
Performance ones.
Right.
This is the #1 vehicle right now in the NBA, and the reason why is obviously it's crazy looking, but it's a lot of space for big guys. You could be 6'4", 7 feet tall. There's some big basketball players, and they all fit in it no problem.
You've got so much storage, and I think when we get back, we'll look at the front, because that's one thing we did not check out.
Oh yeah, we didn't look at the front. Just a little 007 cool features. The glove box.
Okay.
That's cool.
That's
all
awesome.
Power. Yeah, one push button.
I see that with like a cutout with or a pistol or something like that. You have the mags in there.
I want to get one mounted right there.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
So we haven't covered also, what kind of range do you get?
So that's a good question. So it's rated to get 320 miles of range. This is the first Tesla to actually beat the range expectation in the range test. So Edmunds, I think is the name of the car company. They did a review of it, and they actually first did the review and based the mileage off of the top, because it is going to get 340 miles of range.
Okay.
With the smaller tires. I believe.
The dual motor or the smaller tires, right? Okay.
It has to do with tires.
Right.
But Edmunds did this test and then said Tesla Cybertruck did not meet its range because they based it off of the other tire configuration.
Okay.
Then they realized that it was on this configuration. It actually beat. It ended up being like 337 miles. Wow. It had just fallen shy of what it would have been on the smaller tires. And they said it almost did it, when in fact it actually beat it.
Wow.
And so they retracted that whole article and re-put it out saying, no, actually Tesla Cybertruck was the first ever vehicle, electric, that beat the range expectancy. In my real life world use, So everything's based on electric vehicles. Everything's based off of watt hour per mile.
Right.
So this battery is 123 kilowatt hours.
Okay.
So that if you average 500 kilowatt hours per mile, you're going to get roughly 248 miles of range.
Okay.
So to achieve the 320 miles of expected range, you have to average 387 watt hours per mile. That's the math it equals out to.
Okay.
If you drive regular and you don't drive like I drive, absolutely. I've been multiple times taking daily trips where I've been able to average at that or below.
Wow.
And I know multiple people who have them that average that or below. That being said, I come from a Plaid Model X. I like to drive.
You like to drive. You like to burn some rubber.
I want to feel the power every stoplight I'm at. So I'm pumping it. So you can actually see your usage. So I have it, like I said, 10,572 miles.
Wow.
This is the trip odometer accidentally reset, so I only have 7,800 of the miles, but it's a good display. I'm averaging 523 watt hours per mile.
Okay.
So I'm realistically, me personally, I'm averaging about 240-ish miles. But that is not, don't take that as what it will be for someone else, because I like to hit the gas.
You like to hit the gas, yeah.
I like to hit the gas,
well,
so.
My Camaro, I can get 20 miles a gallon out of that with a V8.
Yeah, you ain't gonna do it though.
But if I punch it, I'm not getting 20.
No,
so
exactly.
it's all about how you drive
it. It's a give and take. Right now, we're averaging 417. You've just been driving normal. You're not conservatively driving. You're just driving normal.
Just driving like I would drive around town.
Exactly. Now, and that also includes me towing, which towing, depending on what you're towing. On that big 40-foot trailer that I towed, I was averaging like 1,200, 1,300 watt hours per mile.
Okay.
Which is obviously going to get you terrible range.
Well, but you're towing.
But you're towing, right? The CyberTruck is meant for the adventurous person that wants to have a pickup and also wants to be able to tow something when they need to. You have to get the butts and seats sell Teslas.
Yeah.
And pedals to the floor sells Teslas.
I did that intentionally.
Yeah.
Well, you stay inside and you go on the outside. And we'll do a little.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm babying your truck for you. I know you. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be careful. Don't want it to be screaming at us here. He puts it in rear wheel drive.
Where's she at?
She is over there.
Okay. Hold on, get her back.
To think that you're doing this in an electric truck, and in a CyberTruck, to be able to switch, that's insane. Because I felt like that would hit.
Welcome to the future.
That was awesome. All right, that was incredible. I mean, the drive, everything, but we talked about it in the car. We haven't covered it yet. Let's go ahead and just go over the front real quick.
Now, I use my truck, as I told you. This is my storage bin, but they built this to have, find as much space anywhere they could. This can fit 2 carry-on luggage.
Okay.
This has a big full-size bed. It's not meant to be there's some of the other companies that made bigger frunks.
Right.
So it's more, do you prioritize interior space? Do you prioritize front storage? What do you do? And Tesla decided to really focus on that interior space, and it's noticed.
It is noticed, yes.
But this is still very, as you see, for me, very useful.
I mean, but that's why you have a truck. It's been the resounding theme through this is you use this truck. It's
100%.
It's not a baby. You can beat the door. You can, take it out mudding. You can do whatever you need to do with it because it's a truck. And it's a real
get right back
truck.
on the road and keep driving.
And keep driving. And it rides amazing. So, and this is also, just to note, everybody probably knows, but it's the first power frunk of any Tesla.
First power frunk, factory power frunk, because I actually paid to have an aftermarket one installed on my Model X.
Wow. Okay.
And it does not work anywhere near as good as this one. Finally they did that. You always wondered why don't they do that stuff, but now they are.
This thing is awesome. It is. it's a sexy car.
I agree.
to use Tesla, you know, Elon's
Do you know now it's not just sexy, it's sexy cars. Did you know this?
It is, because of the
CyberTruck, ATV, Roadster, Semi.
Sexy
cars. How about after that? Yeah.
All right. Well, Drake, it's been awesome. Thank you so much for letting me drive it, letting us look at this.
For sure.
Go ahead and tell us a little bit about Village RV.
So I opened it with me and my dad opened Village RV back in 2020. I've been in the RV business my whole life. My idea was cut out all the stuff we don't like in the RV business or in sales in general. I don't charge any dealer fees. I try to say, come here, you're going to get treated just like my family. I would treat my own family. We try to have a great reputation, take care of people the right way. So if you're ever looking for an RV or know anybody, please give us a shot. We'll earn your business.
Awesome. Well, remember, if you're looking for an RV, as he said, come down to Village RV. And for all things going on in Lake and Sumter County, remember to check out Style TV. We'll see you next time.